Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 6, text number 11 and 12. Shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanah Nati uchitam nati nicham chelajina kushotaran tatraikagram manah kritva yata chitendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunaitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna to all of you, and thank you so much for joining. We are continuing with continuing still with chapter 6, which is Dhyana Yoga. It's all about meditation. People in general in this material world are very interested in meditation. Of course, mostly it is because of keeping the body healthy. But very few really understand that meditation is mainly to control the mind. Now, in the first few verses that we read, especially not last week, week before last, we learned about who is a true mystic. Someone who actually, does Astanga Yoga in the right way. Who is that true mystic? Someone who's unattached, who is completely renounced, is working, but actually not attached to the fruits of the activities, which means performing a karma, and understands that the purpose of yoga is to link with the Supreme Lord. And such a true mystic has no desire to enjoy the senses. Understands that yogi has to deliver the mind or deliver the self with the help of the mind and not degrade oneself with the mind, right? Like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, we can make the mind our best friend or our worst enemy. So a perfect yogi, a mystic yogi, is very careful to be detached, to not get affected by dualities. Oh, today it's too hot, today it's too cold, there is success, there is failure. No, is not affected by all that at all. Is fully satisfied within oneself. Why? Because that person has realized oneself, is self-realized. How? By controlling the mind and the senses. And the result of that is that this true mystic has an equal vision, sees everyone equally. It doesn't matter, sees all living entities equally, because understands that Krishna is within the heart of every living entity as Paramatma or the Supersoul. That is a true mystic. Someone who's engaging the body, the mind, the senses, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord. So we learned about who's a true mystic. Now we are going to learn about what exactly is real Ashtanga Yoga. We hear people say, oh, I am Ashtanga Yogi, I follow Ashtanga Yoga. What is it? Who is really following Ashtanga Yoga? Ashta means eight, Anga means limbs, so 8 limbs of yoga. If you remember, I had talked about these 8 limbs in maybe a few classes before, where we learn, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, then there is dharana, dhyana, and then finally samadhi. So today's verse that we took, there Krishna is explaining to Arjuna the basic Ashtanga Yoga practice. First of all, it has to be in a secluded place, far, far away, where there is no distraction, probably in the mountains or in the forest. One has to lay kusha grass and then lay deer skin on top of it, and then a soft cloth. And then the seat should neither be too high nor too low. And then that person, yogi, has to sit firmly, erect, straight back, and then the mind has to be fixed on one point. If we read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, we'll understand he also says the eye should be half open, half closed. And then one should concentrate on the tip of the nose. And what is the purpose of all this? Purpose is to purify the heart. How? By controlling the mind, the senses, and all the activities. This is real Ashtanga Yoga. Not practicing yoga to have a slim body or to have good health. That is also good, but that is not the real purpose. You see, we have to understand the real purpose of yoga. You see, the yogi who's aspiring to become perfect in this art has to live alone, should be free from fear and attachment. What is the biggest fear people have? Of course, about losing money or family, but the greatest fear a person has is of death. But a true yogi, mystic yogi, is not afraid, is not fearful at all, is not attached, you see? And then such a yogi can sit still and not stand or sleep. No, is very focused. And of course, when we will come towards the end of this chapter, just before the end of this chapter, Arjuna will say, this is very difficult to follow. Can any of us leave home, family, work, everything, and go to a secluded place? Can we go and, sit down? And of course, first of all, living in the forest itself is fearful because there are so many wild animals around and we are not used to that environment. And imagine to be in a place without a cell phone, without a phone, that is unimaginable. Every few seconds, we are looking at the phone. Every few seconds, we want to see who has sent a message or what's going on. Phone is like our life support, you can say. It's like our something that we cannot live without. But a true yogi, someone who's practicing Ashtanga Yoga, has to be gone on a place where there is no distraction at all. And that would be forest or in the mountains. But instead of going and doing all that, one can practice yoga even in their own home. There's no need to go anywhere. What attracted my husband and I to Bhagavad Gita was we didn't have to give up our family, we didn't have to give up our jobs, we didn't have to go to the forest. We could practice Bhagavad Gita while staying in our home. How? By making our home a temple, a place of pilgrimage. And that becomes possible when we do our meditation at home. And what is the meditation for this Kali Yuga? It's mantra meditation. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. Kalo nasteva nasteva nastev katiranyatha. When we practice chanting the holy names of the Lord in our own home, our home becomes a temple. Our home becomes a place of pilgrimage. There's no need to spend thousands of dollars and go to a holy place. Of course, that is also good to do. But we can also make our own home sanctified. See? So, a question may arise that in this verse that we read, actually two verses, 11 and 12, Krishna is asking Arjuna to lay a kusha grass. Now, why kusha grass? Because that, it has a chemical effect which can keep the snakes and reptiles away. So, kusha grass and even deer skin that helps to keep those reptiles and all away because of the whatever it's made up of. The whole purpose of Ashtanga Yoga is to control mind and senses. Why go to the forest? We can do the same at home in a very, very easy process that we've heard over and over again. That mantra meditation can easily help us to control our mind. How? Because those sound vibrations of the holy name are so powerful that they go enter into our ears and go straight to the heart and purify the heart. That's such an easy process, you see. The yoga classes that we find in our cities, different kinds of yoga classes, they're good, but they are not teaching anything to do with connection with the Supreme Lord. It's only about the material body, how to make our material body more powerful, more healthy, etc., etc. What is real yoga? Real yoga is to learn how to control our senses, self control. And why is that self control necessary? Because our minds are disturbed. There is no concentration. How many times we see our children not able to concentrate? Why? Because the mind is racing, it's not under control. So that is why it is important to chant the holy names on a daily basis. Unfortunately, there are many disqualifications in this age. As Srimad Bhagavatam says that for especially for the human beings, they have very short life, they are quarrelsome, they are all the time in anxiety, they are unlucky, less intelligent, so many disqualifications. But there is a very easy process to become self-realized. If somehow or the other we can accept the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita and put it into practice, then it will become a very easy process. You see, Krishna, 540 years ago, he himself came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he gave us this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gave us a very easy process. We don't need to meditate for thousands of years. We don't need to perform fire sacrifices. We don't need to do elaborate deity worship. All we can do is just chant and get the same result as the other processes would give us. So it's very, very simple and it doesn't take too much time. It's free of charge. You see, people are afraid to spend money on something that they are not, sure of. But this is free. All we have to do is just use our tongue to chant, our ears to hear, and our mind to control while chanting. You see? Now, in the very next two verses, Krishna is telling Arjuna, after teaching him how to sit properly for practicing yoga, he now is teaching him how to meditate. He says person should be unmoving, should be fixed and unshaken. He must not rock oneself back and forth, no, not that. be very, very steady, and also not look here or there, because that would be a distraction. You see, and the whole body, the neck, the head, everything should be erect. And as I was saying, stare at the tip of the nose. Just try it at home in your free time to stare at the tip of the nose. I tried it. I got a headache because we're not used to that. And it's not possible to do that for a long period of time. But here, that staring at the tip of the nose is very, very important. And then the mind should be unagitated, should be completely calm and subdued. There should be no fear, no anxiety. And also, Krishna tells Arjuna, one should be free of sex life. Meditate upon Krishna who's within the heart. You see, it's not that we just close our eyes and sit erect and do nothing. No, I have to concentrate the mind on Krishna, who's situated in the heart as the super soul, as the Paramatma, and make the Supreme Lord the ultimate goal of life. That is real Ashtanga Yoga. Not just go to a class and sit down and close your eyes and not say anything and be quiet for some time. That is not Ashtanga Yoga. You see, unfortunately, most people are servants of their own senses and the mind. Whatever the mind says, whatever the senses want, if the mind is not under control, the mind will follow the instructions of the senses. And if the intelligence is not fed with knowledge, then the intelligence also will follow the mind. And then that is a problem. And then one may say, oh, I am completely under control. I am in control. I am the controller. I am the master of all I survey. It doesn't work like that. That is just an illusion. We are thinking we are in control, but we are not. You see, it's the mind and the senses that are controlling us. Now, the good part is, Prabhupada says, that Krishna is there within the heart of every living entity. We learn in chapter 15, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sanivishto. Krishna says, I am in everyone's heart. He is there to guide us, provided we want to take that guidance, right? We are the ones who have to make the choice. If we make the choice that, yes, I want Krishna to be the ultimate goal of my life. I want to learn more about him. I want to control my mind and senses. Then Krishna is going to help us. Otherwise, it'll just be random living. There's a very nice phrase, simple living, high thinking. But nowadays, this high living and very simple thinking, you know, practically no thinking at all, just living life just like that. So if we don't make a plan, if we don't understand the purpose of human form of life and make a plan that, okay, I would like to really understand who I am. I really want to end all the sufferings that are there. I want to end it. And I want to go to a place where there is no suffering at all, there's permanent happiness. Now, when we make that goal, that means we are wanting to become self realized. And for that, one has to perform austerities. One needs to train the mind. In fact, kind of restrain the senses by controlling the mind. See, once the mind is under control, the senses will automatically come under control. And the best way to control the mind is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Then we will be able to really connect with the Supreme Lord. That connection is yoga. And Bhakti Yoga is the easiest way. Now, today's last verse is number 15. Now, in this verse, Krishna is giving Arjuna the result of such practice. In this material world, we all like to know what's in it for me. If I am doing this, what is the benefit I'm going to get? If I make you my friend, what are the benefits I'm going to get? So this is how the mind thinks, that what's in it for me? And Krishna knows that. And so he's giving us knowledge about, okay, if you perform this Ashtanga Yoga, what will be the result? And it'll be the best result. Krishna says, when one becomes a true mystic yogi, when one performs the Ashtanga Yoga correctly, real Ashtanga Yoga, that person will attain the kingdom of Krishna, Goloka. Will give up this material world, which is dukhalayam ashashvatam, it is full of miseries and it is temporary. And such a person will come to a permanent, happy place, which is Krishna Loka, the kingdom of Krishna. Now, if one really wants to go to that spiritual world, which is the abode of Krishna, then one must understand Paramatma, the super soul within the heart. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that most of the Ashtanga yogis, they perform that Ashtanga yoga to get mystic powers. Like, to become lighter than lightest, to become heavier than heaviest, to be able to go from one place to another without any need for any transportation, all those mystic powers. So most who perform this Ashtanga Yoga, they are looking for mystic powers. But those mystic powers is not going to help one to go back to the spiritual world. No, it is only Bhakti Yoga. That is the only way to go to the spiritual world, to go by performing devotional service to Krishna, that we can go back to Krishna Loka. And how? By keeping our mind absorbed in Krishna. And the best way is to chant the holy names, because when we chant, we are hearing the sound vibrations, and that brings about absorption of the mind. And when we do that, then the body and the senses will automatically come under control. Then our activities are all going to be, conscious, keeping Krishna conscious, being always conscious of the Supreme Lord. And this is how the mind will also get regulated. We see, those of us who are parents, we have seen how to discipline the child. There is training required. There is some rules and regulations that the children need to follow. This is how they can be disciplined and controlled. The same is with the mind. Mind is like a child. If we do not put regulations on the mind is going to go haywire here, there, and everywhere. Now, when Krishna is talking about attaining his kingdom, going to Krishna Loka, it's also called Goloka Loka, Goloka, Goloka Vrindavana. This is what his abode is called. Now, what do we do over there? And what is over there? What do we expect to find over there? Just like when we plan our vacations. Say we choose one city, or we choose, okay, I want to go to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. So what does Hawaii look like? We will do some research on Google and see pictures and say, oh, Hawaii has beautiful beaches, nice clear water, and lots of big coconut trees, etc., etc. We try to get knowledge about that place that we want to visit. Similarly, Krishna is giving us knowledge about his kingdom. He says it is Chintamani Dham. What does that mean? In that Chintamani Dham, it is so precious, that it is so beautiful, that there is no need for sun or moon or stars, nothing at all. Then one may say, then there must be darkness over there. No, the whole kingdom is effulgent. How? Because of the rays coming out from Krishna's body, the Brahma Jyoti. That effulgence of Krishna lights up the whole kingdom of Krishna. See? But to be able to go there, we need to qualify ourselves. You see, the spiritual worlds are called Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. Vaikuntha means no anxiety. We know, we have experienced, and we are still experiencing that in this material world, there is a lot of anxiety. And that is why this place is not called Vaikuntha. But if we follow the process of Bhagavad Gita, if we do mantra meditation on a daily basis, if we perform devotional service to Krishna, then even this home that we have in this material world will become Vaikuntha. There will be no anxiety. See, but to be able to go there to the spiritual world, we need to qualify ourselves. You see, now we're talking so much about anxiety. Let us figure out who is in anxiety. I was reading, I think I was hearing a lecture where he was saying that those who are the people who are in anxiety, those who are control freaks, who want to control everything, everyone around them, control the situation, they are the ones in anxiety because it's not possible to control everybody in every situation. And then that leads to frustration. So, control freaks, they become very stressful if they are not able to control, what they want to control. But it's not possible to control everything and everyone. The second one is perfectionist. Someone who wants everything to be perfect. Is it possible? And especially in this material world? No. Wants everything 10 out of 10. Everything should be perfect. So they are in anxiety. And those who are enjoyment maniacs, who just want to enjoy life. That's not what uh, this human form of life is for, just to eat, sleep, and be merry. And such people, they want enjoyment even in their jobs. They think, jobs, the job that they go to, they can get away with just enjoying at their place of work. That's not how it works. Only Krishna is the controller. Only Krishna is the perfectionist. Only Krishna is the enjoyer. We are not. So, Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how to understand Krishna, how to become conscious of Him all the time, how to absorb our mind with the help of Bhakti Yoga. Then and only then we will be able to come out of the cycle of birth and death. So, yoga practice, it's not for material facilities, something to do with the body. No. Yoga, real yoga, which is linking with the Supreme Lord, is there to help us to end this cycle of birth and death. In other words, go back to the spiritual world, which is our original home. Yes, people, do yoga, they join yoga classes, to improve their health. It's okay. But we need to understand the real purpose of yoga, which is to think of Krishna, to become conscious of Him. So, a perfect yogi is one who is completely absorbed in Krishna, completely absorbed in thinking about Krishna. That is perfection of yoga, which helps one to become free from this material existence. That is real Ashtanga Yoga. So we learned how one should perform Ashtanga Yoga, what is Ashtanga Yoga, and how to perform it. That it has to be in a secluded place. One has to lay kusha grass, deer skin, a soft cloth, sit erect, head, neck, back, everything straight. And also concentrate on the tip of the nose. And that is possible only when we have our eyes open. And why is it said half eyes open and closed? Because if the eyes are fully open, there's going to be distraction. If the eyes are fully closed, cannot concentrate on the tip of the nose. So it has to be half open, half closed. And the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga is to realize the Paramatma within the heart, the super soul within the heart. That is the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga. So when we can do all this in the comfort of our home, with our family, we can all together sit together and chant the holy names. We can make our home a temple. We can absorb our minds in mantra meditation. There's no need to go in the forest. And we can practice Ashtanga Yoga even at home. Of course, it'll be difficult because there will be distractions, but Krishna says best is Bhakti Yoga. We don't need to perform Ashtanga Yoga. This knowledge is being given by Krishna for those who want to perform Ashtanga Yoga. They should know which is the right process to do this form of yoga. But chanting is the easiest way, absolutely easiest way, excuse me, to become self-realized. See, these sound vibrations that when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When we chant these sound vibrations, they affect our emotions. You see, this Maha Mantra is very divine sound that can make us divine. It is so very powerful. And this chanting of this holy names is recommended in all the scriptures. See, we in this material world are diseased. We have the disease of Maya, illusion. We are in illusion. So our supreme doctor, Krishna, he's given us this prescription, which is chanting the holy names of the Lord. So what we will do is we will chant about maybe 10 times this Maha Mantra. And so please chant with me so that we get into this practice and chant on a daily basis. I'm quite sure all of you are chanting every day. So let us chant with full attention. So please chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So you see, it's very, very simple. This my humble request to all of you is if you're not chanting, please start chanting. If you're chanting, please increase your chanting. So I'll end now. If anyone has any questions or comments, you're welcome to ask.